morning, good morning, good morning. Happy International Day of Peace. Yay! It's a very exciting day. Y'all, before we start, or as part of our program, really, I should say, we are fortunate to have the arts group. So all across the arts spectrum, they're joining us today as part of our celebration. So I am going to welcome the drama, what would you call yourselves? Drama divas. Drama divas. And they are also the cast of Romeo and Juliet. So they'll be doing, yep. Tim, when is your play? What are the dates of your play?
We open on the 6th, 2.5 weeks.
So in 2.5 weeks they open, so an invitation to that. So they're going to come up and give us a dramatic reading, and then we will continue on with our program. So thank you all so much for being here.
The Culture of Peace.
Reflections by Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa,
Barack Obama,
Secretary General Ban Ki-moon of the United Nations,
and Abraham Lincoln. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other.
the peace we seek in the world begins in human hearts, and it finds its glorious expression when we look beyond any differences in religion or tribe and rejoice in the beauty of every soul.
We know that peace cannot be decreed solely through treaties. It must be nurtured through the dignity, rights, and capacities of every man and woman. It is a way of being,
of interacting with others,
of living on this planet.
More than ever, it means living with others on the basis of tolerance, respect, and mutual understanding. We are challenged today. We join forces here to promote the culture of peace, and yet all around us we see a spreading virus of war,
Of conflict,
Extremism,
violence,
hatred,
And terrorism.
but I am convinced that our strongest arsenal in the face of these threats is not weapons, or missiles, or guns.
it is our shared values, our common vision for peace, development, and human rights.
our universal aspiration for a meaningful culture of peace.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
I have a dream.
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 We have a dream.
Good morning. So wonderful to see all these beautiful faces today. We want to welcome you to Northwest Vista College and invite you to join us in celebrating the International Day of Peace, which is a day set aside by the United Nations to observe peace around the world and to ask for a ceasefire around the world. So I hope you'll join us all in our deep hope that that is the reality today. Today we're here to celebrate another incredible new beginning for our college, which is welcoming the Peace Center, the San Antonio Peace Center here to NVC. And we'd also like to thank and welcome those of you among us.
Julie forgot to introduce herself. That's Julie Moore Felix, one of our English faculty members. My name is Neil Lewis. I help coordinate the Peace and Conflict Studies program here at Northwest Vista. And today is a very meaningful day, a very special day for so many people that are here today. I have the distinct honor to thank a lot of people, and I know people are like, great, the most exciting part of the presentation. So I will do this as quickly as possible, but it's very important to thank the people that have put so much work into making this a dream a reality. I want to first thank Rachel Bauer, our Fine and Performing Arts and Kinesiology Chair. We asked for her help, and she immediately got to work on the poster, and it is, many of you if you haven't had one, please get one after the ceremony. They're beautiful, and she was just so eager to help us. And also she helped bring the art and music faculty to help us, and we have some students that make this ceremony much better. So a round of applause for Rachel, for Melissa Marlowe, Tim Hedgepeth, Nick Young, and of course, how could I forget my new favorite person on campus, Daniel Mitchell. Daniel is so instrumental. He's our theater manager in helping us this week. And I had a nightmare last night that he quit today. So he is so important. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, he's still here. I also want to thank our community partners and campus allies who are tabling over here. Such amazing good work. If you haven't got a chance, please visit the tables after this ceremony is over. It's so important in a time when Texas is making it harder to vote. We have Move Texas, which is helping people register to vote. In a time where we are dehumanizing our friends and neighbors and family members in the LGBTQ plus community, we have PFLAG here to show that we support all of our students. There's so much great work done by the Rape Crisis Center. ACT for San Antonio couldn't be here. They're working for police accountability and reform in San Antonio. And of course, MVC Advocacy Center. I'd also like to thank past and present MVC Peace and Conflict Committee members. They've worked so long and so hard to work for such great events that we've had. And I'm just in awe of those folks that I've worked with for so long. Also, a special thank you to someone who no longer works here, but a friend and colleague of ours who helped really hold the tide and be a leader was Carlos Lopez. So I don't know if he'll ever hear this, but I want to thank Carlos. Finally, I want to thank our MVC leadership who are spread out here. Many of you know we don't have a president currently, but we just have a brand new interim president. So I want to thank, but she could not make it, Dr. Debbie Gaitan. I also want to thank all of our vice presidents. I know Dr. Daniel Powell is here. Our deans, Dr. Russ Frohart, Dr. Bobby Ayala, and I don't know, is Erin Sherman here? I'm going to thank her anyway. Maybe tell her that I thanked her. She's here. So thank you for being here. And Pat Fontenot, I'm sorry, I forgot Pat. There he is. Thank you for coming, Pat. We could do stuff all day, and we have worked so hard, but if we don't have constant support from our leadership, it's always going to be limited in scope. So I'm going to thank them and also challenge them to continue to support us, and to not just support us financially and with words, but also coming to our events, showing up, showing your face. I know you're busy, but thank you for coming here. And last but not least, the most important people here are the members of the San Antonio Peace Center. So they work so hard for so long as a volunteer organization, and with their hard work, their dedication, and most of all, their heart and their wisdom, they've accomplished so much in San Antonio for justice, for compassion, and they're not being put out to pasture. They're not going away. They're still part of the San Antonio Peace Center. So if you have been part of the San Antonio Peace Center at this time, could you please stand up or raise your hand, and I'd love to recognize you. Thank you.
And speaking of leadership, we have with us our former president, Dr. Jackie Claunch. If you want to see what compassionate leadership looks like, it's right there, ladies and gentlemen. I probably would not have been on the path that I'm on, doing the work that I'm doing, without that wonderful woman right there. And I want to invite her up to lead us in our centering moment. Jackie.
Thank you, Julie. I cannot believe that I have to follow those drama students. They were magnificent. And you know what? I'd follow them anywhere. So I looked and I looked for just the right poem about peace, because I was told to do poetry. Well, okay, I always do poetry. And, you know, I found really wonderful things, but none of them seemed quite like what I want to use. And then I pulled this book off my bookshelf. It's called Journey Through Heartstrings, and it's a book of poetry by a young man named Matty J.T. Stepanek. Matty wrote this poem when he was 9 years old. And he started writing poetry when he was 3. And then he passed away at the age of 13 because he had muscular dystrophy. So I want to start with his poem called Peace of Patience. I cannot wait to become a peacemaker. I cannot wait to help the world overcome anger and problems of evil. I cannot wait for the world to be peaceful and for everyone to live in harmony. I cannot wait to grow and be and overcome, but I will wait with patience and hope and peace. If we could all just take 30 seconds to close our eyes and in our minds connect with the other peacemakers here today. But I'm not done. The people from the Peace Center, specifically these 3 people, Anne Hilmke, Rosalind Collier, and Susan Ives, started a Peace Center in San Antonio over 25 years ago. And they created it with patience and hope and peace. About somewhere between 2006 and 2008, I can't remember exactly when, the Peace and Conflict Studies program was forming here at Northwest Vista. We found these women, and they came at our request to train us. There were people there like Neil and Migdalia and Carlos and Cara and Craig and Chad, myself, and others that I can't even remember. I mean, I remember them, I just don't remember who was there. And now, here we are, something like 18 years later, reconnecting. The San Antonio Peace Center coming to the Alamo colleges to live in a space at Northwest Vista College. 3 creators and many supporters, passing on, but not abandoning, the legacy that they have created. Transitions seem to come with both joy and the hope for an exciting future. But also they come with a little fear about what's going to happen. What's going to happen to their dream? So for those of you who have created the Peace Center, and for those who will work to carry on the dream, I found this excerpt from Proverbio. I already stumbled over the first word. Proverbios y Cantares 29 by Antonio Machado, an early Spanish poet of the 20th century. So, yes, at someone's urging, I'm going to read it both in Spanish and in English. Caminante, son tus huellas, el camino y nada más. Wayfarer, your footsteps are the way and nothing more. Caminante, no hay camino, se hace camino a andar. Wayfarer, there is no way. You make the way by walking. Y al volver la vista atrás, se ve la senda que nunca se ha de volver a pisar. And when you look behind you, see the path which never again is to be trod. Caminante, no hay camino, sino estelas en la mar. Wayfarer, there is no way, just a wake upon the sea. So Anne and Rosalind and Susan and the many others of you who helped to build the Peace Center with patience and hope, and to those of you who will carry it on, I give you these words from Rainer Maria Rilke. Pour yourself, or maybe yourselves, out like a fountain. Flow into the knowledge that what you are seeking finishes often at the start, and with ending begins. Blessings to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. That was beautiful. So Thich Nhat Hanh says, peace in every step. And the wonderful thing about peace is you can start and stop and go back and forward, and peace is a process. It's iterative. So I'm going to go back and do a land acknowledgement, which seems right. Once you've forgotten, you want to acknowledge your mistakes and go back. So I'd like to do that if you will join me. So we acknowledge this place known as San Antonio, Texas, as the ancestral homeland to the Payaya people and the traditional home of many Native American peoples. This includes over 200 tribes, bands, and clans. We acknowledge this place as being inhabited consistently for over 14,000 years by people who left their marks on this land. We acknowledge the people of Native American heritage who continue to generously contribute to the development of the San Antonio community. We acknowledge here, today, in the presence of everyone, that at Northwest Vista College, people of Native American heritage study, teach, serve, and learn within its classrooms, offices, and grounds. Thank you for that. So I also wanted to mention a couple of things. So we've mentioned it was International Day of Peace. So it is celebrated worldwide, right? And one of the things that I love about this day, that it's both a challenge and an invitation to invest, to build, to create societies, communities, institutions, and families where all members can flourish. It involves creating a world where people are treated with dignity because of and despite their differences. It's really about our shared humanity. The theme this year is building peace, and peace is active. The theme this year is build peace and end racism. So I ask you to think about how would you like to go about living and engaging with that theme for your life. So if you would join me to make space and give place to one of the founders of the Peace Center, who is now the faith liaison for the city of San Antonio. She has authored a couple of books. She has written her, what is it when it's your ultimate book? What is that called? Your manifesto, your English, I'm looking to you. Help me with the, your current your dissertation, your current book, yes, all of those things. Peace is our birthright. And she says, it pales in comparison to the 7 babies she is passing on to peace. Her 2 daughters, her 2 sons in love, her 2 gorgeous grandboys, and 1 vivacious grandgirl. So if you can please help me welcome Anne Helmke.
Please sit. And I also want to add to two things. So in terms of the land acknowledgement, because in the acknowledgement we also claim, right? And so we also claim this land today to be a land of peace from this point forward and forevermore. And the Peace Center also began in the hearts of some women for people like Maddie, who didn't have the opportunity to go to college, but thanks to his words, we all experienced peace this morning. So he made it happen. And so to Maddie, we do this morning. Thank you for inviting us here, and thank you for saying yes to receive the Peace Center, finally to go to college at 27 years of age. We're finally getting he, she out of the house and moving on. As Meg said, I'm the faith liaison with the city. And what this move is really helping me do is kind of unconfuse my life. Because one leg for the last 5+ years has been in the all-volunteer Peace Center, and the other leg has been working full-time for the city of San Antonio, for all of you. And that confused people. And so I think part of my role this morning is just to give the kind of arc of the Peace Center and San Antonio becoming a compassionate city, so you know what arc you're walking under and into along the way. And I want to do that in the broadest stroke I can. I know Susan's sitting in the front row thinking, please don't tell the whole story, we don't have days. So
they store water and sunshine in their thick leaves and in their stem. They know at some point they'll need that reserve. And it also reminds us to turn in because we have everything we need for life. These practical and wide-ranging plants are very diverse. They look very different. They offer us such a positive example of flourishing and steadfastness, regardless of the environment. So the freeze, lots of us experienced the freeze, all my succulents survived. And well, I should say most of them. The one that didn't came back in the spring. It was very hardy. So they came back stronger and they come back more resilient. They bring vitality and beauty and harmony to all the spaces they inhabit. Rosalind, Susan, Anne, everyone else at the Peace Center, you are our succulents. So you've heard a little bit about the formal pieces of it, right? But these people are amazing, and they're these brain banks of everything. And I just want to say thank you and invite you up to get a succulent because you are the source of our thriving, right? So please help me welcome Rosalind and Susan and Anne. Right? And, yep. So this is Rosalind. Thank you, Rosalind. Rosalind is an avid educator, avid jazzerciser. We love her. Susan, the peace flag. Susan made all the peace flags. So Susan didn't know how to sew. I've told this story, I think, during Bragging Breakfast, during our all-college meeting. I told this story, that she learned to sew over the pandemic. So anything that you asked Susan to do, before websites were a thing, Susan was coding to figure out how to make her presence known on this thing called the internet. So she's fabulous. And Anne is the spinner of all plates. She's an amazing pollinator and connector, and it's incredible who she knows and everything that she speaks into existence. So I just want to say a deep, deep, deep thank you to all of the Peace Center and all of our founders and all of our future participators and collaborators. We are just so grateful for you. So we have, to close us out, we have one more performance, and I think it is the choir. Is the choir here? Maybe? Maybe not? Not as of yet. So I think this might mean we're ahead of schedule.
Does anyone know how to sing? We've had the choir. They're supposed to be here. My wife is here. She could sing for us.
Rosalind sings. There you go. Well, so there you go. So we don't have it, and like the Peace Center says, we want to begin where we want to end, and we want to end on time. And we just want to say thank you so much, and the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come, and so I invite you to join us in community and communion with each other as we visit tables and we visit one another. It's been a long time since we've been able to gather. So I also want to do one more thing because I just saw Deborah Martin stand up. Okay, Deborah Martin. So this work is possible because of lots of people and lots of things. One of the things that the Peace Center gave to us was, of course, their wisdom, but they also gave us cash. They gave us an investment. Yeah, right? So they gave us an investment, and they said, oh, okay, you all work a little different. You have to do things very formal. You have a foundation that we give money to? Okay. So they gave us the seed money, which is $2,500, to start our account. So we just also are eternally grateful for that, too, where budgets can be scarce or non-existent. We really want to say thank you for that. And then that's also an invitation that we are now part of the United Way Giving Campaign. Oh, Jackie, is this you? Am I going on and on? So we're part of the United Way Giving Campaign, so that's also an option to donate to.
So we're actually setting up a fund in the foundation that the $2,500 will start. This is to support activities of the Peace Center. And I am going to add, I said I was going to add $1,000, but then it occurred to me, if I add $1,250 and we get contributions from other people to make up another $1,250, then we would have $5,000. So, thank you in advance for helping.
May peace prevail on earth, y'all.